Joining us now to continue this discussion is Congressman-elect Darrell Issa, a Republican serving California's 50th congressional district. So, Congressman-elect, first of all, congratulations on your victory. And it's a key victory. And I say that because it's in a Southern California district, one that could be competitive. In fact, many polls showed you down at one point. So I want to ask you, why do you think you were able to pull off your victory?
Well, first of all, to a great extent, it was because of the Trump economy. The base of voters has been expanded in my district to include a lot of the working blue-collar people who voted for me. There's no question at all. We've expanded the party. You see this with President Trump getting, 10 million more votes than any other Republican president in history. Obviously, it's unusual to have coattails of bringing in, new members of Congress, while in fact, perhaps not winning re-election. So this is a little backwards, but no question at all, the record of success is why people are choosing Republicans.
And, as we look back at a lot of the talking points, it starts making a lot of sense why he was, for example, saying this is the best economy for African Americans, for Latinos as well, what he did for HBCUs, the First Step Act, things of that nature, because we are seeing that he did improve better among, for example, Black Americans, Latino Americans, even women. He did better among that demographic than a lot of people thought he would as well. So do you think that this speaks to what the future of the conservative movement needs to be, more inclusive and more diverse?
Well, a party like the Grand Old Party goes through a significant change every decade or two. We look at the era of Lincoln, followed by the era of Teddy Roosevelt, followed by the Goldwater movement that led to Ronald Reagan. And now we've expanded the party one more time with many of the policies of Donald Trump.
And I've talked about it on this program before, too. I do feel like we're in a realignment of sorts. I feel like we can't necessarily see it because we're in it right now. But both parties are changing very drastically, both on policy, both on the makeup. I think that there is a change happening among the American electorate. And one day we'll look back on this moment and really have a better idea of what it looked like. But I want to focus on you and your race as well, because you, for example, are going to be going to Congress as well now. And you are in a position where you're going to be in the minority, but you did build on gains in the lower chamber as well. So when you get to Congress, what do you think Republicans should focus on?
Well, but we have to take advantage of our strength. And one of the strengths is we're going to control the Senate. Nothing becomes law that isn't signed by the president, but nothing becomes law that shall pass both houses. So one of the things Republicans in the minority can do is, in fact, build those relationships with the Senate so that what we pass out of the House on a bipartisan basis becomes law, and that which the Democrats send on a purely partisan basis doesn't. The second thing is, and I have to be candid, you've got to be willing to be the loyal opposition. When they try to run something through you object to, you've got to find clever ways to offer amendments that they don't want to vote for, but if they vote against them, they'll be on record opposing good, sensible things Republicans can offer. I've served 18 years before taking a 2-year break to join the Trump administration. So I'm acutely aware that I've been in the majority and in the minority. And in the minority, it's about communication and offering the majority good ideas they often don't take. But that's how you become the majority party again, is offering a viable alternative that the American people prefer.
And that's what we're hearing right now, too, is that even though Republicans did not take back the House, they are in a very good position to have a very big victory in 2022. And I've heard that from several congressmen-elect that we've talked to up to this point, saying it's about setting the framework for those upcoming elections. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you do nothing for 2 years. They've talked about several things where they could, for example, find compromise or at the same time set up those type of campaigns going into 2022. Do you think that there is anything that Republicans and Democrats can compromise on right now, or is it more so about trying to win back that majority?
Well, there's one thing that we have to compromise on. We have to find a way to get those PPP loans going again. We've got to find ways to make sure that those things which help get our economy rolling again occur. That includes, obviously, President Trump's Manhattan-type project of expediting a vaccine. We've got to stay on top of making sure the money and the incentive is there. So those are things that have to be done for the American people, and they have to be done now.
And when it comes to that as well, right now there is an interesting time where we're going back and forth on lockdowns. California is one of those as well. In fact, there might be some litigation in the coming days determining on how far California Governor Gavin Newsom can go with some of those orders. Do you think that the first step should be opening up and then meeting those types of needs before there's an expansive type of package? Or do you think regardless, that money does need to go out to small businesses, frontline workers who need those resources now?
We absolutely need to get back to work. And so the support has to be support to help people work safely. You know, initially it was basically paying people to stay home. We know that didn't work. We're 10 months into this. So now what we need to do is what I sometimes jokingly call the Costco plan. You know, Costco never closed, but every single week they enhanced and improved their safety. And in fact, you feel very comfortable going into into a Costco and shop, knowing that they have a system to protect their workers and their shoppers. We can do the same thing at place after place. We do it in defense plants right now throughout San Diego. They've proven that not a single worker gets infected at work. We can do the same thing, and we need to.
And I think that's the nuanced conversation, too, highlighting the difference between keeping workers on a payroll through these government funds or incentivizing people to go on unemployment and then be making more money when they're not on a payroll somewhere. So I think that is the difference that a lot of lawmakers do need to differentiate. But I think you're exactly right to say that that could be a priority for Republicans and Democrats going into this upcoming congressional cycle. But Congressman-elect Darrell Issa, once again, congratulations on your victory. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Anytime. Thank you.